I think we're recording.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got a pop up. It was like.
Did it?
Yeah.
Well, hello. The best robotic mixer for Minecraft. Okay. They're one of the most useful things. It's one of the most useful things, and it's all mob farm. We'll go ahead and look at the materials needed. I'm in creative mode, so these aren't actually the amounts. You need some building blocks, whatever building blocks, it doesn't matter. Hoppers. You can use glass blocks or leaf blocks. We're using glass blocks because mobs don't fall. Fun fact. Chests to collect all the items. Smooth stone slabs to act as the roof. Dispensers to dispense the water bucket. Observers. Redstone repeaters. Redstone dust. Soulstone campfire. Redstone computer compare, and a lever. Let's go ahead and take these for now. First, we're going to start off with our little collection system. Doesn't really matter how you build, but usually I just do, the three across. Gotta get, oh Jesus. I just started using this computer, so I don't have, so I'm sorry. But you just gotta put your hoppers. You will need quite a few chests. One will not cut it. This produces stuff. Yeah. And then these hoppers right here where the mobs will actually fall. So you want to extend that a little bit. So you give them, so it's going to be 5 blocks wide. All pointing towards these chests right here. And then you do 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So you have a 5x5 platform. And now you will build up. So build 1 like that. Then you'll make a nice little surrounding platform. So this will be 7x7 around this. There you go. So all the hoppers are contained in this little square. And each edge, you're going to go out 7 blocks. So you have 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 7. And then you do that for every side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to connect all of these. So you're going to want to extend it this way and not do that. You'll want to connect them like this. So sort of making the entire thing a larger square. I believe the edges of this square should be 21 blocks, like right down here is 21 blocks long or wide. We do that for every side. And then this is the fun part. You got to fill in. Oh, great. Very cool. If you have any questions, feel free to ask because this is quite a bit of monotonous block placing, as many farms are.
You said this is like a 21 by 21 square then? Cool.
So this is, I'll explain what we're making right now. So this is, there's going to be like a bunch of layers on top of this. This is going to be the bottom platform. There's going to be water that is going to be pushing these mobs down into this little like death square, I guess. That's nicest way to put it. But yeah, so after we finish this, you're going to have to put glass blocks all around it. And like I said before, we're using glass blocks because mobs can spawn on glass blocks. Another good thing with this farm is if you want efficiency, you probably need to light up quite a bit of around it so there's not other mobs in caves and in the nighttime taking up mob spawn slots, so you can get as much in your farm as possible. One thing that you have to watch out for this farm, of course, witches. They kind of suck. I haven't really found a good way to deal with them. I just kind of, when they're in there, I just walk away so they just spawn and back. I just don't like witches. But another good thing for this farm is, of course, like you're going to get tons and tons of rotten flesh. So what you can do is you can have like a little sorting system down here to throw out all the rotten flesh, so you won't have to deal with that. So you can give up more space for the stuff you actually want. But now we will begin the glass border, which, like I said before, it is glass or leaf, of course, because mobs cannot spawn on it. Mobs also can't spawn on like half slabs, like bottom slabs. But that won't work for here because if a mob like is on the edge of the water, they can climb up the half slab easily. That makes sense. But I just find this the easiest. Also build up the corners. This will be for when we place the water later. So it's in the correct position. There we have that. At this point, I'm going to put the soul campfires down, but if you're in survival, I would not recommend this because it will kill you. So you put these all down on the hoppers. This is what is actually going to be killing the mobs for you. So this is, and they're soul campfires, not regular campfires, because soul campfires actually do more damage than regular campfires. You can use regular campfires, it's just going to affect the rate at which the farm produces drops. I also realized that we need to go up 4 blocks, so you shouldn't have done that. So you go up 1, 2, 3, 4. Break these. Wow, this is noxious. I did not think that. Okay, I'm going to take these away. I'll put this back later. Okay.
I guess campfires are important because they don't destroy the mob drops.
No, they don't. So like when you're putting it on top, like because it's not technically a full block, it'll like go straight into the hopper. Like the hopper will instantly pick it up pretty much.
Got it.
Yeah. All right. So we have our, oh, I forgot my dispensers. Oh no. At this point, you will need your dispensers, your observers, and your water bucket. It would be a smart idea if you're in survival to make an infinite water source. There's 2 ways to make an infinite water source. Some easy Minecraft right now. You can do it like this way. This is the way I usually do. You put one in one corner and one in the other, and you can take water out of any corner and it'll just fill itself up again. Or you can do one in this corner, one in this corner, and then you take water out of the middle and it'll just automatically regenerate as a source block. But I don't care about that because I'm creative. Okay, so we put a dispenser facing up. That is very important because this is going to be holding our water bucket, which is going to be pushing the mobs down into this bottom platform. So once again, we're going to be going 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 7. On these platforms, although they are the same like distance, I guess, that we made this one, we're not going to be making this a square. We're actually going to be making this a diamond of sorts. This is because of the way that a water, like when you place down a water source, how it spreads. So I'll show you that in a little bit. So we're just going to fill in these blocks right here as such. And with these layers, essentially this farm is just going to be made up of a bunch of these layers. You can put however many layers you want. Of course, there's going to be a limit to where like you don't want to build any layers anymore, because it's not going to improve the rate of your farm because so many mobs are already spawning. So I think 10 is like a good number, but I'm not going to make 10. I'm just going to make 4. So like if you see the way the water block or the water flows, it goes right to the edge, but oh no, it goes right to the edge, but it does not flow over. So that's exactly what we want. So you can, so like if I were to fall into here, I'm slowly going to be pushed out and fall down. So that's what we want. And then we're going to placing a dispenser, or not a dispenser, sorry, an observer right there, I think. Yes, that looks right. And then we're going to be placing a dispenser once again up like this. And we're just going to repeat exactly what we did down there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we fill these in. I recommend if you are making this in survival mode, you will need to light up these layers. They're going to spawn mobs, and when you're making it, they're going to be annoying and they're going to blow up things, and it's not a good time, trust me. So I would recommend lighting up the layers. I guess you can talk a little bit about what exactly this farm produces. It will produce you string. It will produce rotten flesh, of course, bones, arrows, various sorts of enchanted armor, except for diamond. I believe it doesn't produce that. So
could you maybe explain like the really like basic concept of what a mob farm is, like what the point is and how it?
Yeah. So a mob farm is essentially like, obviously, like on the nighttime in Minecraft, hostile mobs spawn. So usually like the one way, or like for example, bones you can only get from skeletons, or in like chests or something like that, from like a desert temple or stuff like that. In the nighttime, it's usually very dangerous to go out. So this is essentially mitigating the risk while also making it so you don't have to put in any effort, essentially. So it's going to kill these mobs for you and get all the materials you need. Like I would make this mob farm because I would need, let's say, a lot of white dye, which you need bones for, or which you get from bones, I should say. Or like if I wanted to create, I don't know, something like cobwebs, something with a lot of string or something like that. I made one too wide. So you need a lot of these materials, and this is essentially what this is going to do for you. It is going to produce that without having you put yourself at risk going out at night. The one thing this farm doesn't produce is ender pearls. Ender pearls are from Endermen. Endermen are 3 blocks tall, so they can't spawn in these areas. But Endermen are kind of tricky because they can teleport. So once they take damage, essentially they teleport. So getting a farm for them it's difficult, but there's a one you can make in the end dimension, which I'm not going to show right now because it's like late game, I guess you could say. But this is essentially just making it so you can get all those materials from things that would otherwise try and kill you without them killing you, you know? But yeah, I think this will be my last layer up here. It is nighttime. Oh, no. But yeah, so in the like I said before, these things only spawn in the nighttime. So what we're going to do at the end is we're going to create this giant roof that is going to make it so it is dark enough to where they can spawn underneath here no matter the time of day. Like I said before, I was talking about how many mobs or entities can spawn in a certain area and things like that. Usually when you're creating this mob farm, you want to AFK like somewhere in the sky, so you're not loading all the stuff on the ground, if that makes sense. You're making it more efficient because there's like I said before, there's like a mob cap, if that makes sense. So yeah, that answered your question, Ben. That was a really long-winded answer.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
I have a kind of like a follow-up question. You were talking about efficiency. How does this, I don't know if you know, but like how does it compare to like one of the mob spawner based farms? Because that's like all that I've
like
really
like a dungeon spawner.
Yeah.
Dungeon spawners, I guess it's like difficult to compare them because this one produces like everything, whereas a mob spawner only produces a certain amount. I would say this is definitely more efficient because it is able to spawn more mobs. Mob spawners, oh, I didn't break that block, can only spawn like, I think it's 1 to 4, I believe, mobs per like cycle, I guess you could call it. So that it's like this makes more room for more mobs to spawn than a regular XP farm or regular mob XP would.
Yeah. Okay.
However, like I said before, this is not an XP farm. Wow, finally. So if you want to get a bunch of XP, you don't want this. This is essentially just for drops. Mob XP farms are like the dungeon spawners are a lot, at least in my opinion, they're a lot more useful for that. You can make it to where this could be an XP farm, but it's just, I honestly don't think it's worth it, but you could. Essentially, you just have to make it so they fall pretty far, and it deals a huge chunk of their health. And then, oh my goodness, deals a huge chunk of their health, and then you can kill them with a sword, which then would grant you with XP. I probably should mention, in order to like get XP, you have to like physically like deal damage to them. At least I believe in Java Edition. I think it's different in Bedrock, but I'm not sure. So them dying by a campfire isn't going to give you XP. Like, let's say if a creeper were to blow up a skeleton that was right next to it, that skeleton would not drop XP, I believe. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So we have this. I need 1, 2, 3, 5 layers. Let's do one last dispenser up here. I should mention that you see me like placing these observers in a certain way. It's just because of the redstone signal. So let me see if I can show this, if this works the way I want it to, because I may have placed it backwards. Yeah. So you see, like, it was looking at something, like this is redstone activated. It was looking at something, and then it was like, it sent that signal to this dispenser. And when I take that away, it turns it back in. We'll go up here. We're going to create, oh, I forgot my slabs. Oh no. So let's go down here. We're going to need our slabs. Put these away. Grab these. A little bit of redstone, essentially a redstone clock. They're not that difficult. I cannot remember. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Probably should have taken that out. Yes, don't put the water into the end. That's a good idea. So this is going to be 14 blocks out, whereas compared to the 7. This is because it's making it possible for, so essentially making it so much darker underneath these platforms that they are able to spawn. Because mobs can only spawn at certain light levels and such. Like if you go to F3, you can see like on the left hand side, you can see client light, and you can see like the light levels, and that has the corresponding spawn. That was probably a lot of numbers and probably confused you. I'm sorry. So we do 14. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At this point, normal. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're just going to continue doing this. This is going to be the most time-consuming part because it is such a wide platform. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And like I said before, you don't have to put this many layers. You can put, I think the minimum is like 4 or 5, but you can go up to like 10. Just depends on what you need, how much you need, when you need it, how fast you need it, you know? I guess I should talk a little bit about the redstone that's going to be up here. Like I said before, it's a redstone clock. Essentially, it's just a redstone signal that's going to be like, so it's going to activate and deactivate the this observer down here. So essentially, it's just it's going like in a cycle. It's gonna, like, the redstone signal is going to travel slowly in one direction, and then it's gonna come back the other direction, and instead of turning it on, it's gonna turn it off. So it'll make the water detract or go back. That makes sense. It will make more sense when I actually build it. Oh my goodness. Are there any more questions?
So how does this, like, how does this allow the monsters to spawn the water?
So it's not the water is only there to push them down. So down here, there's going to be, I'll once I put the water down here, like there's essentially going to be more water down here that's going to push them down here. But what's allowing them to spawn is, like, the group I'm creating right now is making it dark enough so these hostile mobs can spawn essentially. Like I said before, they can only spawn at certain light levels, so you have to make it dark enough for them to spawn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then how do you collect the Like, how do you collect the stuff that drops? Do you just wait down there?
So there's these things down here. They're called hoppers. They automatically pick up items and they put them into these chests right here.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah, hoppers are like one of the best things added to Minecraft ever. I remember a time of Minecraft where there wasn't hoppers. It was a sad time. But yeah.
Not bad. We just do like Technic pack, you know?
Yeah, but I had a Mac.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That is like in middle school, all I would play is like on my Mac, and I would just sit in the creative world and I just build stuff. But yeah. I guess I should talk a little, like I mentioned witches before. So witches are really the only downfall when it comes to this farm. It's not necessarily a downfall, it's just really an annoyance. So if you don't know, witches they're able to heal themselves with potions. So essentially they have just a bunch of potions. They can throw poison at you, they can throw weakness or anything, generally just a nuisance. They're probably one of the worst mobs in Minecraft. But so they can essentially sit on these fires that I'll put down there. They can put on a potion of fire resistance and they'll just stand there. They won't take any damage because they have that potion on. So what you have to do, or at least what I do, is I just run away so they despawn. So then they won't be there anymore. But yeah, here's the little platform thing. You should see mobs spawning here soon. It may be because I'm too close, not sure. But I probably should have figured out where the middle of this one. Oh, close enough. Okay. So I have to remember how to do this. I think it is 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So essentially you just have to make it so the slabs are now full blocks. We only used slabs before because they are cheaper, essentially. So put that order, I believe, right over here. Redstone dust, a repeater. You want to set this, so essentially a repeater extends a redstone signal. So, well, I guess I could just show you. Yeah, 3 ticks. So essentially like one tick is, or 0 ticks is like right there. And if you right click it, it extends the tick, which extends the duration of the redstone signal. We are doing this so there is enough time for the water to push all the mobs out. I hope, let's test this real quick because, yeah, so you can see how it's like slowly traveling, and then it'll come over here, and I did it wrong. That's what I did. So you're supposed to turn the computer on. So it'll go all the way around, and then I'll turn it off, which will then go all the way around.
Oh.
So if you put, I believe this should work, but I think I need to put a dispenser above the observer. Yes, I do. Great. Oops, that's the wrong block. Yeah, so it's essentially, oh, uh-oh. Very adaptable. I do redstone. That's sarcastic. But let's turn this off. So yeah, that's what essentially what we're trying to do. Hopefully this should work. Oh, I put these the wrong way. The way the repeater space also is important. So like these two are in different directions. So like if you place it, so if you place it like this, the redstone signal is going to come from the left to the right. So this like stationary pin is where it's going to come out of. That's why I point that out. Now let's go ahead and, okay. I think I may have made this too small, but that's okay. We will put a water bucket in each one of these. Each one of the just gets a water bucket. I believe this is the last one. Yep. Okay. Let me just double check. Okay. All right. So we have all that. And then we'll go turn this on up here. So you see all the water is now coming out. This is all like pushing the mobs down, if there were any, I should say. And then it'll come right back up. You are like, this is just a typical or a demonstration. So if you want to make the pulse longer, essentially you just have to extend it, add more repeaters, and put the 2 redstone at the end. I would definitely recommend that, but for the sake of presentation, I'll just leave it as such. And, yep. Okay. So you'll also need a water bucket again. And we are going to create a funnel essentially down here for when the mobs. Oh, there's a creeper down there. Okay. We're essentially creating a funnel for when the mobs do fall off of these spawning platforms. So yeah, you're essentially going to put it in all of these corners at first. So you see, like, it's not quite reaching that center point right there. So that's what we want it to do. So you're going to just add water at the edges of this. And you see it's like right there. It's just barely not falling over. And you're going to do that for every single side. And if you look at the water, you can actually see what way it's flowing, which is important. Because if you don't have all of the water buckets on the edge here, some mobs could get like stuck in a stream that's not going the right direction, if that makes sense, or it's not long enough to. I should write it down here. Sorry, it's not long enough to push it all the way down here. So at this point is when you should add the. I guess the spider will be our demonstrator. Put the soul campfire right there. Once again, these can be regular campfires. Soul campfires, they do more damage. You have that, and I'll have to. I'm just going to turn it to night right now, so we can make it. We're going to extend this one more to help the mob spawn. Since it is daytime, it may take a little bit longer. You can honestly, like, however long you want to make this form, you can make it however long, doesn't really matter. It is up to your preference. However, there is a certain limit where mobs just won't spawn because it is not dark enough. All right, so let's go ahead and get the spider out of the way. Use my video. Okay. And this is why I said you wanted to put torches down here, because it is dark. And It is not very nice. Usually, if you want to create a spawning plat or like an AFK platform, per se, like a lot of people do that is going up into the air. There's like, you don't necessarily have to do that. It doesn't make or break your farm. It just, it depends on what you want to do. If that makes sense. If you want to make an AFK platform, you can. It will most likely help your farm. Oh, I just realized I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. This is supposed to be a square. I'm so caught up on diamonds. This is why there weren't spawning things. But yeah, don't make this mistake. Make it a square.
Did you say how like far above you'd want to make the sky platform or whatever?
I believe it is something like 92 blocks. I'm not quite certain. It all really depends on how many platforms you build.
Okay.
Because if you build a taller one, you're gonna want to build your AFK platform like a little bit shorter, I believe. But I think 92 is usually where you want to be. But yeah.
Didn't they just expand the height limit?
Can you what?
Didn't they just expand the height limit?
Can I expand the what?
Didn't they just expand the height limit? Yes.
Expand the height limit?
Hmm?
I don't know what you're saying.
Like the max height that you can build at.
I think that's for 117.
Okay. Oh, so yeah, in the next. Okay. Cool.
Anyway. Oh, are you talking about like negative? Because that's what you can do in 117. I don't know. I have never heard anything about expanding the height limit.
Yeah, I guess they made it like the world height taller as well as the negative then. I haven't been keeping up on it anymore.
Yeah, this project requires quite a bit of slabs. So if you're using stone, use a stone cutter. It will save you trouble. Trust me. Well, I mean, it will and it won't. It produces the same amount, but it won't leave you with a lot of extra leftovers that you don't need. I personally vouch for stone cutters instead of crafting tables. Let's see, what else can I talk about? Oh, there's also something interesting that occasionally will come into your farm. There is a in Minecraft called jockeys. There's like a spider jockey, which is a skeleton riding a spider, which those are, you see them, but they're like considered rare. There's also something called a chicken jockey, and it is a baby zombie riding on the back of a chicken. So occasionally in your mob farm, you'll find chicken or like feathers and like chicken. So don't be alarmed if that happens. That is just babies are chicken jockeys. I don't think I've actually ever like seen one. I've only ever found a dead chicken in my mouth. Okay. Now, see, look, we already got one there. Look, first victim. Let's watch him fall. All right, I'm so sorry, skeleton. He will be our example. You see, he is getting slowly pushed off of the edge. He'll fall down, and we can come down here, and you see him taking damage from this soul fire, or soul campfire, and his items. Oh, there's already round flesh in here. And his items go down in here. So yeah. I'll do a quick little easy way to do an AFK platform. Scaffolding is your best friend for this stuff like this. Throughout this entire project, if you're building it in survival, scaffolding will be your best friend. Scaffolding is quite honestly one of the best blocks invented. So I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm just gonna guesstimate because I don't want you guys to sit here and watch me count scaffolding. Excruciatingly boring. But yeah, so you'd essentially just go up to the top, get rid of all these, make a little well, I can't spell. Make a little platform. Not like that.
Wait, why are you doing this?
This is the AFK platform. So essentially, like only a certain amount of mobs can be spawned in an area at like a certain time. So what I'm doing for this is I'm making it so like the caves underneath me aren't being rendered as often, or like they're not being rendered as much. So they're not taking up spaces that would go to my mob farm. And yeah, it is also a key to have a little like slab roof over your head if you're creating an AFK farm, because if you're sitting over here overnight and then a phantom comes, then you have protection. Phantoms are very bad. But yeah, let's go ahead down here. Yeah, cut and wall. Skeletons have been our main victims. Let's turn it to daytime, see if that'll help us spawn more in there. But yeah, that's essentially a mob farm. This one isn't necessarily very efficient. It's only, I think the most efficient is like 10. But yeah, that's how you make a mob farm. Make sure to light up the bottom, of course, as you can see. This is not good. But yeah, is there any questions?
Cool.
Cool. Yeah. I don't know, is there anything else I should do?
I don't know. If you don't have any other questions, then I think we're good.
Okay. Well, okay.